Morning guys, how we all doing? Hope you're well. Sorry about the shadows, but unfortunately the winter sun is back, which means low sun. Not a lot I can do about that. I suppose I could get the light down that my wife uses, but it's no point. Anyway, anyone who remembered me from the Dorset Mammal site will remember that I'm a really big fan of the Garmin radar. Now, I've had one of these now since I got knocked off my bike. It's got to be over 3 years ago now, easily. And I had the original one, then I've got this one, and I believe there's now a newer unit out as well. These are one of my favourite bits of kit, but they come with a really rubbish mount. It's just literally like an elastic band style mount. Well, it's not elastic band, a rubber band mount, almost like O-rings. And I've never been keen on that. Now, because I like specialised saddles, and I like the power saddle and the arc saddle, one of the guys who was following my channel turned around and said, Jace, I'm an engineer. Just put the call out to me and I will make you a mount. So he then machined up for me this little bad boy. So this was the Mark 1 mount. So anyone who's got a specialised SWAT saddle will kind of notice the shapes. This kind of fits flush in the SWAT system and hangs under the saddle at the back. Brilliant bit of kit. This was kind of like Mark 1 that he kicked up at work quite happily. But since then, we started playing around with modifying it. So he started looking at kind of different mounting systems on top, because not all SWAT saddles are created equally, as I discovered, because my original power versus the arc, whilst these look at the top very similar, they actually ain't. The arc is like a millimetre out on places. The holes are the same width, but the shapes and the angles just don't. It's like a lack of continuity on their end in engineering, which, let's be honest, is a specialised, and that is no big thing. The specialiser's QA is probably not up to scratch. You've only got to look at the moment at all the storm that's going on about their SL7 frames and forks. We then ended up with some like these, which are kind of a plastic with carbon reinforcement, very light, and trying different shapes. And I adapted bits and sent back to him, made it easy for me, made it easy for Ryan, because we're not near, we're kind of at opposite ends of the south. And now we've ended up with this. So this is basically not far off the final unit. Now he's going to be selling units to people. So I will ask Ryan to put your email on that below, that you would like people to contact you about these when you're ready to roll with them. Fantastic little bits of kit. He's designed them now so that they use basically the most universally easy to replace kind of adapter for the Garmin radar. So, because anyone who's had Garmin's will know that eventually, they're only plastic, and even with the head units, wear and tear eventually gets the better of them, especially if you're a bit heavy-handed. But I must admit, this plastic one on here, I've been using now for months, and it still feels brand new, and it even has a really nice, there you go, positive, and that's hard, positive click, and I like that. That is going nowhere. So yeah, it was bizarre. Out of a whole year of trying 2 new gravel bikes, buying new kit, having some wheels given to me by Scribe, which were fantastic, the bit that made my year was having somebody go out of their way to design and machine up a mount for me. And the fact that this hasn't stopped, this has gone on for over 18 months now of trial and development, and and the fact that Ryan is potentially going to offer these to people, I think it's fantastic, especially when you look at the prices, right? There's stuff similar to this on eBay, plastic kind of 3D printed kind of mounts. I've seen them going from anything from £25, which it's not too bad, up to £55 for 3D printed, bit of kit. I don't know what Ryan's going to charge for these, but I can guarantee you you're getting, you know, a full-on CNC machined bit of kit here, and it is really nice. And the finish is, I mean, this one's like 99% ready to go. Um, it's really nice, and it's solid and it's sturdy, and it's going to last you decades. As long as, you know, Specialized don't change the SWAT system, you know, in theory you should be able to take this and, you know, have your radars in the future. Now, the other thing I've seen people do with this style mount is, I believe there's certain events where you're not allowed to visually see your Garmin, and I've seen people clicking them onto these and putting them under the saddle so they can still record their rides, which I think is quite a cool idea. But yeah, there we go. So Brian, big shout out to you. Thank you very much. I'm going to go and put this on the bike. I'll give you guys a quick look to show you where on the saddle it fits. Yeah, see you in a sec. Right then guys, welcome to my kitchen. I'm going to turn you around and show the mount. Okay, so pots and pans, giant TCR. Now then, here we go. So the bike's a bit at an angle. Let me turn the camera at an angle. There you go. So the rest of the wheel goes off kill. So here you can see the mount fitted. What you can't see is, whilst this fits absolutely perfect, the saddles actually go down at different angles. So the angles of these saddles, they go inwards as they go forwards. Now that's where we had the issue where not all these saddles with their SWAT system are spot on with each other. So this one underneath is carbon fibre. I don't know if you can see that, or it's just dirty. But there you go, you can see all the nice carbon fibre. But this bit here is still resin. So you'd have thought that getting this resin mould, the same as the resin mould for their other SWAT systems, would have been easy enough. But no, this one is a millimetre basically down on the top, and a slightly bit different on the inside. So what Ryan's done is he's given a little bit of clearance so that you can just see a tiny bit of air through there, but it looks absolutely spot on. Now, the original one, let me turn you around. Oh, hang on. No, before I turn you around, let's get my radar mount. Boom, there we go. Now, what I like about this system, excuse the kitchen, anyone who's got these radars will know that they actually, if you read the instructions, they have to be a certain height above the rear wheel to work effectively. With the radar mounted up here, out the way, clear of everything, it will increase your range. If you're using one of these radars, which is basically a basic simple Doppler radar system, just going out, seeing what's moving on incoming kind of traffic, if you run it too low down here, the top of the wheel will interfere. So it's got to be able to transmit out and receive back. So keeping it nicely in the clear is a really good idea. Also, what I've done last winter with these, unfortunately I've mislaid it, is I had a, what are they called? An arse saver. And I cut my arse saver into a shape that allowed me to slide the arse saver in and around these bolts, to use these bolts to hold the arse saver in place. It looked really good. It held the arse saver in place and get me bum dry. Unfortunately, the light's always going to get wet unless you use a mud guard down here. As you can see, I don't tend to use mud guards. They do my nutting. Yeah, so my bike at the moment is in a bit of a sorry state. But she's used and I love her to bits, and I keep all the bits go nice and clean. It should be clean and well maintained. Right, so yeah, there we have it, guys. I've got so much washing up to do from last night and I just haven't got around to it. But anyway, that's the radar. That's, you know, the radar mount, should I say, from Ryan. I absolutely love it to bits. It's one of my favourite bits of kit. Such a simple bit of kit. When you've got children, sometimes you have to turn things like milk bottles into hedgehog planters. There you go. If you've never done that with your kids, look up milk bottle hedgehog planter, and it'll give you a nice idea of what to do at the weekend if you're bored. Don't know where that's come from, but I just spotted them and that's how my brain works. Anyway, guys, before I ramble on too much, I'm going to leave you there. Thank you, Ryan, for yet again another spectacular update on your product. Guys, ride safe, catch you all soon.